Have you heard the many stories of naughty little Krishna? Krishna, Lord Krishna, is considered the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and he is associated with love and compassion. He is also associated with his naughty and playful nature as a child. His childhood stories are famous everywhere. So I'm going to tell you two of his naughty stories today. Where? In the channel Ammu&You. I am Ammu, and happy Janmashthami to all of you. Janmashtami is the day when we believe Lord Krishna to have been born. I have done that story before. You can see it on my channel. And today I just want to talk about Krishna Leela. There are many stories of little Krishna, but I want to just mention two of them today, the stories of little Krishna. Now, little Krishna was brought up at Raja Nand's place, and Raja Nand and his wife Yashoda were doting on little Krishna. One day, when Krishna was playing around, a fruit seller woman came near their house asking for the ripe mangoes to be bought that she was selling, the juiciest, freshest mangoes of all. That is what she said. Hearing her, Krishna's father, Nandraj, called out to the fruit seller, and she came to their doorstep. Krishna noticed that she was carrying a big basket of freshly picked delicious mangoes. The house was filled with sweet aroma of ripe mangoes. Now those were the days when people would barter goods instead of money. That means that you exchange things with each other. So, in exchange of the juicy mangoes, Raja Nand gave lots of grains to the fruit seller. The woman was overjoyed. She bowed in gratitude to Raja Nand, saying that how generous he was. Krishna was noticing all this. What did he do? He wanted to buy some mangoes by himself, for himself. So he ran inside and he went to the storeroom and he picked up as much grain as he could in his little hands with tightly closed fists to ensure that not a single grain fell. He came and ran to the fruit seller and handed those few grains to her. Now, noticing that the grains were very few in number, little Krishna was a bit disappointed. But the fruit seller just took a careful look at this charming little boy, and she was mesmerized by his dark eyes, innocent smile, and long locks that adorned with a peacock feather. She just kept gazing at him. She saw the look of disappointment on the little boy's face. She gladly put all the grains given by him in her sack and filled little Krishna's arms with juicy golden mangoes. The little boy's joy saw no bounds. He was extremely delighted, and so was everyone else around him. Suddenly, the basket of grains that Nandraj had given to the fruit seller turned into a basket full of gold and precious gems. The fruit seller could not believe her eyes. She had put the few grains brought by the little boy, Krishna, and had added them to Nand's basket full of grains. She looked back at Krishna, who was still smiling at her, and at that instant, she knew that she was standing in the company of no ordinary mortal but God himself. She could get a glimpse of Lord Vishnu in the eyes of little Krishna. She was overwhelmed and she lay prostrate on the ground and could not believe her luck that she was so privileged to have been given darshan by God Himself. Another story about little Krishna was the story of Kaliya Daman. Now, Kaliya was a very poisonous, many-hooded snake who used to live on the banks of Ramanaka Dvipa. He was driven away from there by the fear of Garud. Now, who was Garud? Garud was the bird who Lord Vishnu mounted. Now, he was the enemy of all serpents. So, Kaliya had run away from there and he came and took shelter at the banks of Yamuna near Vrindavan. Now, Kaliya was so venomous that the waters of Yamuna bubbled and churned with his poisonous and turned black with poison. No one in Vrindavan dared to visit that part of the river or even go near the river banks. No living creature could live there, not even the plants. Plants are living. Every living organism would just die in that deadly poison emitted out by that serpent Kaliya. One day, little Krishna with his sakhas, his friends, were playing ball near the banks of Yamuna river. Krishna, actually the form of Lord Vishnu, slowly drew all his friends closer to the part of the river where Kaliya resided. And suddenly, while playing, the ball landed in the water. The boy started screaming that who will get the ball now? Krishna jumped in after the ball. His friends were paranoid. Krishna had jumped into the poisonous river. His friends called after him, warning him of the dreadful serpent that lived there. Krishna, of course, ignored all their cries and dived deep into the river to retrieve the ball. Everyone from the village, hearing the cries of the boys, rushed to the river bank and waited there with a bated breath. No one dared to go into the water after Krishna. Meanwhile, underwater, Kaliya attacked Krishna. He attempted to dig his fangs into Krishna, but Krishna was too fast for him. He filled the water with his venom, but Krishna dispersed the venom with one stroke of his hand. He then wrapped his body, Kaliya, the multi-hooded, dangerous serpent, wrapped his body around little Krishna and dragged him deeper into the water, attempting to crush him. Little did he know who he was dragging, but Krishna grew his body so huge that Kaliya had to release him. Soon, Kaliya started to tire. Krishna then grabbed the serpent's tail and dragged him to the river's surface. He then assumed the weight of the whole universe in his feet and, playing his flute with one hand, started dancing on the serpent's head, all the while not releasing his hold on the serpent's tail. Kaliya started vomiting venom and blood and started dying. Seeing this, Kaliya's many wives came rushing to Krishna, begging for the life of their husband. Please, please, release our husband. We will become widows. Please, 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 release our husband. Kaliya himself saw the error of his ways and realized that the one that he was dragging and attempting to kill was no ordinary child. This one looked a little boy, but he definitely was no ordinary. But an incarnation of Lord Vishnu himself. Playing the flute, he begged for his forgiveness. Falling on his feet, he cried in regret and promised never to torment anyone ever again. Krishna, the benevolent one, the kind one, forgave him with a warning and told him to go back to Ramanika Dweep along with his family and never come back to Vrindavan again and trouble anyone. Happily, the wives thanked little Krishna while the villagers looked in awe at that little boy, Krishna. There are so many stories, friends, that talk of the extraordinary boy little Krishna was, always fighting the evil and saving the people from their deeds, evil deeds and torture. Today, when we are celebrating Janmashthami, remembering Krishna, let us remember the naughty Krishna also, who loved eating butter from wherever he could lay his hands on, who played the flute, who was blue in color and adorned a peacock feather on his head. Happy Janmashtami to all of you. May you have a lovely celebration. And remember little Krishna for all his naughtiness as well as the good deeds that he always did with his naughtiness. Thank you for listening to the story, friends. And bye-bye. Wait for me when I come back again. And please like, share and subscribe to the video so that all of your friends can hear such stories. Bye-bye.